Bin Laden's most famous near escape from U.S. troops occurred in 2001 in the White Mountains along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, in a cave redoubt called Tora Bora. Bin Laden was rumored to have arrived at Tora Bora with an armed convoy of 1,000 al-Qaeda members in early November. The U.S. received intelligence on his location, but American troops were unable to capture him, and Pakistan failed to seal off its border. Bin Laden is believed to have fled Pakistan on foot between the end of November and early December. Bin Laden's most famous near escape from U.S. troops occurred in 2001 in the White Mountains along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, in a cave redoubt called Tora Bora. Bin Laden.
Former Afghan president and the leader of the country's High Peace Council, Burhanuddin Rabbani, was killed by a suicide bomber at his home in Kabul. The attackers, posing as Taliban peace envoys, hid an explosive device inside a turban. The men traveled to Rabbani's home for a meeting and were ushered inside without being searched. According to reports, once inside, the bomber shook hands with Rabbani and then bowed as a mark of respect, before setting off the bomb.
At least 7 people were killed in a suicide attack on the compound of a foreign logistics and supply company in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, early Tuesday morning. The bomber's vehicle was stopped outside the base of a logistics firm supplying NATO forces. The powerful truck bomb blew at around 4:30 a.m., killing 2 Afghan truck drivers waiting to enter the compound, and leaving a crater 6 meters deep and 15 meters wide. 3 other armed attackers charged inside the base and killed 3 Nepali security guards. The insurgents exchanged fire with Afghan security forces for almost an hour before they were killed. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack.
A security guard has shot and killed an Israeli Jew at the Western Wall in Jerusalem. The Israeli man in his 40s had arrived at the Western Wall at prayer time. A security guard said he heard the man chanting Allahu Akbar, or God is greatest, in a cubicle in the men's bathrooms. The man exited the bathroom, attempting to retrieve something from his jacket pocket. The guard shot him dead, wrongly suspecting the man to be a Palestinian militant. The Western Wall is one of Judaism's holiest sites where thousands of people worship every week.
My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
An accident took place at the construction site of the Konyaalad Center in Mazadinyakoy district, an upscale neighborhood in Istanbul, Turkey, at 7:45 p.m. on Saturday. 10 workers entered the elevator on the 32nd floor as they were leaving the site after their shift ended. The lift plunged to the ground, killing all the workers inside. According to developer Konyaalad GYO, the elevator could carry up to 28 people, or 2.7 metric tons.
The latest in a recent spate of so-called green-on-blue attacks in Afghanistan happened when US trainers handed a weapon to a new recruit. To date, in 2012, there have been more than 30 such attacks, leading to speculation the Taliban may be purposely infiltrating the Afghan security forces. As a precaution, US soldiers have now been ordered to carry loaded weapons while on base.
Over the past few months, there have been several attacks against Libyan security officials, and Benghazi's police chief was shot dead. In the latest incident on Monday, a police car was attacked in Benghazi. As the patrol car was parking near an intersection, another car drove past it. A hand grenade was thrown from the passing car and exploded near the police car. At least one officer was injured.
The Syrian Prime Minister survived a bomb attack that was targeted at his convoy in central Damascus on Monday. Reports say an improvised explosive device was placed under a car that was parked in the area. The bomb was apparently detonated from a distance when the Prime Minister's convoy passed by. The Prime Minister was unharmed. One of his bodyguards was killed. A second bodyguard and his driver were seriously injured. At least 6 people were killed and more than 20 wounded in the blast. This is not the first attack targeting a high official in Damascus in the past year.
Israeli fighter jets bombed targets in and around the Syrian capital, Damascus, for a second time in 3 days on Sunday. The strikes target what was described by US officials as a shipment of Iranian Fatah 110 missiles passing through Syria on the way to militant Lebanese organization Hezbollah. The Fatah 110 is a single-stage solid-fuel ground-to-ground ballistic missile that can carry chemical, nuclear or conventional high-explosive warheads. It is capable of striking much of Israel. Israeli analysts said the shipment also included Scud-D missiles, which have a range long enough to reach Eilat at Israel's southernmost tip. Responding to the attacks, the Syrian government accused Israel of helping Islamist terrorists and threatened retaliation. "17-year-old Trayvon Martin was walking home from the 7-Eleven after purchasing Skittles and iced tea. Self-appointed neighborhood watch captain George Zimmerman spotted Martin and called a non-emergency police line.
This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining and he's just walking around looking about.
Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He looks black.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
After the call ended, the dispatcher sent a patrol car. According to police, Zimmerman claims he stepped out of his vehicle to check which street he was on. That was when Martin attacked him from behind. Neighbors heard the men fighting. They reported hearing a single gunshot. The dispatched patrol officer arrived to find Martin dead on the ground. Zimmerman reportedly was bleeding from the nose. But new evidence from Martin's unnamed girlfriend suggests that it was Zim. "What are you following me for? What are you doing around here?" came the reply. She believed telling them to call the police.
At least 13 people were injured after 2 bombs went off near a courthouse and the Ministry of Justice in Benghazi on Sunday evening. A car bomb was first detonated outside Benghazi's North Courthouse. The blast shattered windows and destroyed the balconies of many buildings in the area, including ones some distance away from the explosion. Another bomb, hidden in a bag, was detonated between the Benghazi branch of the Ministry of Justice and the October 7 hospital. According to the Libya Herald, all 3 buildings were extensively damaged in the blasts and the courthouse was partially destroyed. No one was killed, but a number of people were injured. A spokesman for the Benghazi Joint Security Room, Mohammed Hijazi, told the Libya Herald that 10 people were taken to hospital. An eyewitness said 3 security guards from the courthouse were injured.
Subscribe now and never watch boring news again.